Hi, I'm sorry. I had to run get my the bake part of my wake. I was like, you can't do wake and bake if I'm just awake. We have to have all the parts. And you can see this shirt is completely clean, but with the good light, you can see all of the butter and oil stains from me cooking all of the delicious things that I cook for y'all. So do me a favor this morning, as always. Say hello, tell me where you're watching from. I gotta sneeze. It's not coming out yet. Um, Good morning, good morning, good morning, my trippy hippies. It is Tammy coming to you live today from Hippie Headquarters, which is my office here in Farmville, Virginia. It is 9:19. I'm a little bit late. I'm not going to stay too super long. We got lots to do today. We got new orders coming in. It's the ending up of the weekend, so we'll get all the things out today. Take a deep breath and blow it out, and be ready for the weekend. So do me a favor, and drop me a grateful fed in the comments if you were here for it today. I have some. I had some like in my brain, right? In my brain, I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to announce. Good morning in the car. Okay, all right, coming to Virginia. I love it. Um, We are running an end of the month contest. However, I am not exactly sure what and how yet. We're going to work through it today. We're going to workshop a little contest today. So give me some thumbs up, some O faces if you're here for it. But we are running into the end of August. It is the 26th of the month. We have been supporting our back to school classroom Amazon list this month for our Power of One and our Grateful Fed Fund. And then what else is going on this month? Oh, this is the last month for our Summer of Love contest. Let me go ahead and put that up real quick. Our Summer of Love contest. I think I still have that. Summer of Love contest, right? That means that all summer long, right? All summer long, I think I have another little banner up here. Let me find this other little banner. Is this it? Let me see. Yes, so every order that was placed this summer between on June 1st and August 31st gets you into our grand prize drawing. And it also gets your city and state on our Summer of Love t-shirt. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So every city and state is going on a t-shirt, like a band tour t-shirt, and we have got so many different places. Y'all have made my hippie heart happy. I have got North Dakota and Oregon and Washington State and California and New York and Illinois and all kinds of crazy, amazing. We have Blackstone, Virginia. We've got Rennell, West Virginia. We've got all over the place. So many. Everybody's on the way to the beach today. Okay, I'm a little jealous. I'm going to try not to be. I am definitely not on the way to the beach. I am on the way to the kitchen this morning. I took it a little slow yesterday, only because Red was not feeling well. He is still not feeling well, but his COVID test was negative, so we're opening the house back up. And then trying to get him better. So I worked alone yesterday. So the girls are coming in today. Selena and Mel are on the way in to kick the day off today. We're going to get things rocking and rolling. And then back in action today. But we are at the end of the month. And I always get a little like sentimental at the end of a month. You know, we had a lot of fun this month with our animal crackers. Don't forget $5 of each of those boxes. You still have time to grab one of those. Goes to supporting teachers in back to school classrooms. I'm excited to be able to do a lot for that. I've been pulling lists and stuff all month long, so I've been doing that as they've been coming in. I'm going to grab a couple more lists and clean those off this hopefully this weekend. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Heather Johns. Good morning, everybody. And then we are rolling into September. Okay, so I am trying to figure out what we're going to do for September. And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty positive. And I didn't even think about the snacks. I should have done the animal crackers, and I should have done that for the SPCA. And you know what? I think that I am going to keep the animal crackers. I work through this myself as we're speaking. So I'm going to keep the animal crackers, and I'm going to make those a $20 treat, and $5 of each purchase is going to go to our local SPCA all the time. We have a lot of Grateful Fed members in here. That's one of the volunteer organizations in our community. We have a very robust animal shelter. It helps 5 counties, and it needs all the help it can get. So I think we're going to leave animal crackers on for the animal shelters. I was going to do that as its own thing, but I think that right now I am going to make the Power of One, the Grateful Fed Fund, a legitimate Grateful Fed Fund, a building fund, to do some of the things we want to do in the store to help pay for it and things like that. Because we are going to be offering this farm to table meals, and we're going to be giving one away. Every month we're going to be gifting some of those away, and those might be what we do as far as Grateful Fed and feeding people. That's the idea of moving this into what it is. And when we meet with the attorney, we are going to see about getting our charitable status for the Grateful Fed Foundation. So if anybody's interested in being a part of the Grateful Fed Foundation from a charitable standpoint, let me know. I would love to. I'll make sure that our attorney has your information to put you on like the board of directors or whatever you want to be on it. We may even do like an annual, I don't know, we're going to do some things. We're going to do hippie holidays where we actually, donate to the Grateful Fed Fund to do all the feeding things we do throughout the year. And we're working with the attorney. So I have got to hold tight in September. That's why I'm saying like some of this stuff is just going to be for me because we are moving into that legality piece. So if y'all can just bear with me for a little bit while I get this figured out, know that I'm not blowing your money on like trips to Vegas. I promise you I'm not. So September we're going to take a pause to see where the money has to go, how I have to set it up, if there's got to be other accounts, all the things. Grateful Fed Fund is the bomb. Yes. So that's the thing, right? Because we are moving into not just us doing it. When you start really growing the brand and things are getting bigger now, I have no option but to do it kind of through the things that I don't like, which is the government, because they take and put their hands in things and they mess it up sometimes. But as we get larger, we have to be protected. We have to have some tax shelters and things like that for y'all and for me, because the money comes in, it looks like income to me. So I've got to figure out a way to get it all figured out. And we're getting to the point now where that's what's got to happen. But my intentionality is all is well, all is in divine time. We'll get everything done, and it might be one little chunk of whatever, right? But then it'll be done and good, and we're all protected, and everything is straight and safe. So all easy peasy stuff. I will say that I got a call this morning from the insurance adjuster, and I was taken aback by it a little bit. And I even said, I was like, hey, my energy is not right to have this conversation right now. I was like, let me call you back because I was really frustrated with the conversation we were having, because he says to me, well, because you're attached to cannabis. And I was like, I'm not attached to cannabis because of your background. I was like, sir, where in my background am I attached to cannabis? I mean, I'm like, want to know, like, where, when I called you on the telephone and asked you for a quote for my insurance, and I said, I'm opening up a cultivation and wellness apothecary. I'm not selling cannabis. I'm selling tints and lights and soils and nutrients and all the things that go along with that. I said, nothing said to anybody that I was attached to cannabis. He says, well, CBD, and CBD is illegal federally. I'm like, no, it is not. I'm like, everybody gets your brain on this whole thing that you're wrong about. And if this is the chance, like, this is the stuff that I have to really get my energy centered on. I get very, 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 very angry, very, 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 very quickly when people try to And this is the thing, what I'm finding when I'm talking to insurance adjusters or agents, when I'm talking to the bank, when I'm talking to the everybody, right? They want to assume something that's not true. And I get really pissed about it, and I get really pissed about it, and I wear it on my sleeve. I'm like, I said, this is what Red heard me. He was laughing. He was standing in here, and I was like, sir, and I'm not going to use the guy's name, because if I use his name when you're local, you might know who it is. I said, are you going to be cool enough to be my insurance agent? Because I don't know that you are. I was like, because you sound real silly right now, like trying to argue with me about this stuff in my brain. I was like, and I love whenever in my little small town, when people are dealing with me, they'll say things like, they don't know me, like they don't know me like that. Not everybody knows me like that. They knew the old Tammy, they don't know the new Tammy. And they'll say things like, I'm not a liberal. And I'm like, well, I am, so that's great. I mean, I'm not a liberal or anything, but I'm like, well, you haven't got to justify being a liberal to me, because I am a raging liberal. I am a lefty liberal. And then they're like, I was like, yeah. So why are you saying that? Like, why would you say that? I love to watch their faces. But let's just say that this is the part of the business part of it that was I knew was going to frustrate me, because people get the wrong idea. People get the wrong idea. People set their mind and set their impressions, and it's people who have no clue about it. Like, he kept using the M word, right? He kept saying marijuana. I'm like, stop using that word. I said, stop using that word. I said, it's a racist word, and we call it cannabis. And and then I'm like, what about me says I'm connected to cannabis? Nothing about me says that. I'm telling you that I'm opening a gardening store. I'm going to be selling nothing different than a Dollar General, just different accoutrements. I was like, there's no reason why you're questioning me about opening this store. You don't need my business plan to write me an insurance policy. I'm a little frustrated by it, right? Well, well, if you've never opened up a Dollar General store before, then the insurance companies want to know that you're not a fly by night. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what they want to know? If I can pay my damn premium or not. That's all they want to know, is if I can pay my fucking premium, sir. You're nosy and you want to know my business. So, no, I will not be dealing with you. No, I will not be. And they don't understand me like that. Like, you're going to either want to work with me, or you're going to want to get the hell out of my way, because this town needs an enema and I'm getting ready to give it to them, apparently. Here's the thing. We are opening nothing more than a gardening store. Our local Southern State store has the same kind of stuff for chickens. We're just putting it in there in a better and a more appropriate way. So I was like, you know what? My friends have this exact store. My friends have this exact store in Lynchburg, and they have an insurance policy. And since you don't know how to write it and it's over your head and you're kind of flabbergasted by it, I'm just going to call our friend's insurance agent and say, hey, I need the same policy you got for them, because we're doing the same kind of thing. And thank you so much. Appreciate you. Because I don't think it's going to be a problem. They have a carrier, underwriter, all the things. So I'm glad to be working with you. Yes, sir, for sure. But it's just very frustrating when people don't have. And here's the thing I think about it. Like, if you don't know about something, don't speak on something, right? If you don't know about something, don't speak on something. And I get it. Here's the thing. Heather, you don't. My little town is very quaint and very kitschy, right? It's a very cute little Main Street town. But people get their head set on stuff and they get worked up over stuff. And his argument was all about here's his argument to me. The reason why it's not federal, he wants to argue federal legalization to me. Not argue, just talking. He's only talking. And he's just doing his job because they don't know a lot about it. It's a new kind of thing. And they are so worried that some people are still very worried about it. What I say is this: it's like, if everybody realized that the only reason that cannabis is not federally legal is because the government's only way, the most profitable way for the government to be involved in cannabis, is to be involved in it from a regulation and a fining and a legal standpoint. The most profitable way that the US government can have their hands on cannabis is by locking you up, costing you fines, making you pay for tickets to grow it. Um, yeah, and that's the thing. And he was like, well, no, it's not that. That's what he said to me. He's like, it's not the fact of money. It's the fact of they want to make, how can they know if you're stoned and driving? And I said, sir, I was like, what is the point of catching somebody stoned driving? To fine them, to put them into the prison complex, to make them pay for VASAP, to make them do all of the, to be able to regulate it. So no, I was like, people who get stoned, I mean, we talk about this. It's not really a big driving thing. You're not going to be able to ever test to know if it's this moment or that moment, and it shouldn't be a big deal. Don't get behind the wheel. Use common sense. So the people who get behind the wheel and fuck up drink smoking and stuff, they usually are doing other things with it. They're usually drinking and smoking, and that's just the extra thing. Bad decisions are made that way. I said it here nor there. It's still about the money. And I said, I'm not asking you for a license or an insurance policy for any of that, regardless. I'm not asking you for that. I'm asking you to give me a quote for an insurance policy for a fucking store. End of story, period. So I got an email from this female insurance adjuster or claims this from this female insurance agent, whatever agent, who said she was a new insurance agent out of Richmond. She saw that I had registered my business on the State Corporation Commission, that I did already do that. And she would love to help me with any of my insurance needs, and she would help me however she could. She saw the names of all of my businesses. She didn't blink an eye. I guess she's going to get an email today. Because if you want my business, you'll come after my business. And here's the thing. I understand that if you don't know about it and it's uncomfortable for you and you're worried about this or you're worried about that, I get it. It's also important for insurance agents. Part of your job, because I was an insurance agent for years, part of your job is to assess risk. So your premiums are based on the risk of the person you're insuring, and your job for the insurance company when you get your license or you get, like they call it, they're holding your, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. You're basically like an agent of that business. Someone has to hold your license, a signed company kind of thing. That you're, if you have a license in Virginia, then you have to hold it with the company for it to stay good, right? And so I get that it's your job to be the first line of underwriting and determining risk. And if you are unsure about something and not sure exactly what it is, and you want to make sure that you're doing your, and I get the diligence of it. I do. I 100% appreciate that this person is doing their job. 1,000,000%. And if you're watching this on the live where I'm public, I'm sorry that if this hurts your feelings, but it's also about the fact that it's a sense of, do you want my business or do you not? Right? And I get you don't know a whole lot about it. You're confused by it. But there's two things can be true. You can be an amazing insurance agent. You can write and take care of your customers phenomenally, and we not match energies, and me not be the right fit for me to come to your agency. And so that's what I'm finding. And this Wake and Bake Today lives a little bit about craziness, because what I'm finding is the harder I try to support local, the stronger, the more I try to deal with local and deal with people who are, trying to be a local citizen, and having a strong local support to be a better global. I'm finding that so many of these little towns, right? So many people have been intimidated by these old school way of thinking and by this, this patriarchy that kind of like especially with women business owners, like the talking down to and the, do you understand how this works? And I'm like, here's the thing. I understand how all of it works. Do I always take the traditional step A to step B to step C to get there? No. Can I run a phenomenal business? Yes. Do I have my LLC done yet? I do not. Why? I like, stop. I was like, that's the least things that I need. Like that is the paperwork is the least important part of it to me. to me, that paperwork is the least important thing of it. It is my business. It is 100% my business. I paid for the trademark, the branding, all the things, but um, the paperwork is. I could be a sole proprietor and give you my social security number. I don't have to have an EIN. Like I know that I can do that. Just as the LLC, that paperwork is again another way for me to have to spend money with somebody. That's just for the government. The LLC and stuff that is only being done for to make sure that like they leave me alone because they get their piece of it, right? That's their piece of it. But I'm finding nobody wants to you know it's difficult to find people to work with because they are stuck in their old ways and they are not progressing with the time and their energies aren't matching. So I'm struggling with finding local and dependable people to work with that make me feel like they want my business and it's willing for me to spend my money with them. And that's why I have stayed in my house for so long. That's why I've hidden on my piece of property for so long is because the energy out there is yucky, right? The energy out in this earth is not exactly beautiful. But I also understood. Oh no! So there's road work happening on the way to like our doctors in Richmond, where we have to go and go into the doctor at our doctors in Richmond. And he said, I'm sitting on 307. I'm the third car and waiting to go. So it's going to be a minute. So he'll be sitting in traffic. It's a whole like the road's getting redone. But it's just interesting to find that. So what I'm going to encourage everyone to do today, right, is take a deep breath because I had to, and I said to the man, I was like, here's the thing, here's my email address, send me the information that you need. I have all that written up. I just don't want to give somebody my business plan. I have I have a whole business plan. I know what I'm doing. I just get pissed having to show you that I know what I'm doing. I get mad when people, I guess, I feel like they're questioning me, and that's shadow work for me. Because how do they know if I don't show them that I know what I'm doing, right? And that's a lot of it. It's just more of my ego, right? That self-proclaimed personality body getting in the way of this. But tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments, right? What is a pet peeve for you? What is something that gets on your nerves when you're doing business with people? Is it rudeness? Is it customer service? Is it attitude? What is it that whenever you are in a business and that something that kind of gets on your nerves with like interactions? And I don't mean to dwell on that, the negative. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because we're going to work through it. We're going to workshop this today on Wake and Bake because I was really frustrated this morning, and my husband's like, "Stop, listen to what the person is saying, understand it from the perspective of they don't know." And it was really interesting. I'm glad he was here this morning because he heard both sides of the conversation. He gave me some perspective on it. Because he says, he says, you're very out there about everything you do. You are very much, you stand in it. He says, not everybody does. And he says, this person wants to help you. They just don't have the words or the education to be able to defend your point, and you have to give that to them. The old man attitude, I'm women, hear me roar. Yes. And that's what I told Red. I said, what I think that happens to me is because most of the people that I've had to deal with in these situations in my town have been guys, have been men. And I don't mean it in any kind of bad way, but I'm like, you are not going to mansplain to me, right? Yeah, there's like the old man attitude, right? And especially, like I said, I get very defensive when it comes to this topic. And I feel like I need to work with somebody who has a strong opinion about this topic, like I do. But if I don't, like Red said, he says, what is it? What good is your message? How are you helping anybody if you only spread your message to the people who believe in your message? And that's today's topic. We talked for 24 minutes to get to the actual root of the matter, right? Is that we all want to work with the energy that we align with. Like that's easy, right? It is easy for me to live in this world and to be around this group and to be in like-minded groups to deal with only the energy that I align with, right? That's sometimes my intentionality is like, hey, only Only the energy that I align with should be in my energy space today. I will, I'm not accepting any kind of low vibrations, blah, 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 blah. But Red made a great point today, right? They don't know any better. And you are a teacher, a preacher, an advocate, an educator. And he says, and the only thing you're preaching and teaching and advocating and all the things for are people that already know it and understand it, then are you really spreading the message and helping get the message out there to the people who don't have it? So I'm going to have to learn to slow my roll a little bit, take a deep breath, right? And understand that it is my job to be able to be more accepting and slow down a little bit and say, okay, not everybody is where I am. There's been a lot of false narratives given in this world about this plan, about these things, about the people. Let's at this point give them the synopsis of the business, right? Let's explain to them the vision, because like Red said, I'm not angry, disappointed in this time and age. We still have the struggles. That it is, right? It is. Um, but we also have a duty, right? We also have a duty and a job to I have been blessed enough, right? I have been blessed enough to um to have a platform. And if I'm going to have the platform as an advocate or an educator for cannabis and other spiritual things, right? Then I 100% have to be okay with facing the adversity of people who have not heard the message and being able to deliver it in a way that does not let ego take over the conversation, and that I do to people what has been done to our community forever is act holier than thou and bet you don't know about pot. You drink alcohol. It stinks. Oh, why do you have to do that? I don't want to be that person, right? We don't want to be those people. So all of that ranting and raving, right? All of that ranting and raving that I do, right, is not going to help further the cause. This is where I have to look at, okay, am I just being holier than thou and bitchy in a different way? Because when I worked in a prior life and I was doing my day job and I knew my stuff, I had this air of arrogance about me, right? And this is just, I told y'all, when you take your mess and you turn it into your message. But I have to be real about it. I have to be real about it. Was today really something that he did to offend, or was did I self offend? Right? Did I self offend? And that's where I'm at today. Um, oh, when it's times and situations like this, we have to put our fuck around and find out a way and educate gently. Exactly, right? And I realized that my initial reaction to that was, you know what? If you don't want my business, you don't need my business. And that was my old knee jerk go to reaction. That was my old knee jerk go to reaction was, you don't want my business, you're asking questions, I don't have time for this, either you're on board or you're not. And I'm like, you know what, now I'm not saying that I'm going to spend money with this agency, with this person at all. I am going to explain to them what my vision is. I am going to type it up for them. I am going to explain to them that we know what we're doing, we have a business plan, that we are not fly by the seat of our pants, that this is not some idea that I have more money than sense, because I have neither. Neither. It's not like that, right? I'm investing. It's not about trying to make an insurance scam. It is honestly about my life's mission. And here's the thing: whatever insurance company wants to work with me, wherever my policy is like placed, they're going to get so much business because I'm very brand loyal. I'm very brand loyal. They are going to, you know, whoever my agent is, they're going to have to understand there's going to be a lot of business that comes with this. There's going to be 2 or 3 businesses. There's going to be Airbnbs. There's going to be commercial properties, residential properties, lots of events. There's going to be lots of opportunity for them to be able to, make some money. It's a business for them too. It's exchange of energy. So if they exchange their energy, and that's why it's important for me for the right companies, to the right businesses to interact with, right? It will be a group policy, people, yes. Uh, that they want my business, that they appreciate my business, they appreciate me. And that's why it matters. And so I have to get to the root of things. But when you're in that moment, right, a lot of us do it. Can I get some thumbs up, some hearts, some O faces? Sometimes you knee jerk react and you just like, well, you know what? It's done now. I've acted an ass. I've showed, I've yelled, I've raised my voice, I've done all the things. So, but today was a great example. I was so very glad that my husband was here to kind of be the voice of reason. And it reminds me that, there's always more than one side to a story. And I could have told that story and I could have told y'all about this experience, and you would have been on my side 100% in this story. But I wanted to let you see, right, that even though maybe our energy and our intentions are right, we still have to, we still have moments of maybe not behaving in that highly vibrational way in the moment, but we can always, in any moment, stop, regroup, take a deep breath. And I told this gentleman, I was like, hey, I was like, I'm late because I was 12 minutes late for this live. So I'm late for a meeting. I was like, I need to sit down and get this back to you. He sent me an email immediately. He says, have a great day. I've got the email over here. I'm going to send back the whole synopsis plan. First thing first. I'm going to get that done today, right? I'm going to get a quote from a couple of different places. I'm going to message this girl who emailed me. I'm going to call another carrier. And another carrier, I didn't call back, the other insurance agency. And I really wanted to use them because I have a relationship with this other company as well. And I worked for them for a little while. They've carried my father's insurance for 100 years. And I called them a couple of weeks ago about getting a policy. And they told me they would call me back the next day. And they never bothered to call me. And I got these letters from carriers that said, considering the type of business you're doing, we can't underwrite you. And I'm like, what? So I really don't know that they're putting out what I'm doing. And they didn't bother to ask me. And they didn't call me back. So I will not use that other agency because they didn't even bother to call me back and to give me to have a verbal conversation with me. And if I'm going to spend thousands of dollars with you, then you are going to talk to me on the telephone. You're not going to text me and email me. We're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to know that I'm entrusting my business. I do not mind paying for things at all. I will pay, and I understand there's an equal exchange of energy. But I will not spend my money with somebody who I do not feel like appreciates my money or is doing a job that I need to have done. And that's it, right? Sometimes they're just so stupid, yet you just can't understand what they're thinking. Yeah. You know, the way that I took the conversation with this person was that he has no clue and he doesn't know how to explain it to the underwriters. And even though I'm trying to explain it, he's getting held up on the fact that it's a cannabis growing store. And a lot of people don't understand that it's just a gardening store, right? It's just a gardening store. You can take those exact same products and put tomatoes or green peppers or lettuce or cucumbers into the soil, and those hydroponic pots would grow those things beautifully. But it's just for, in Virginia, it's legal to cultivate and grow cannabis, and you can 100% grow and do it. Um, I I just I'm gonna have to like regroup and realize that the conversation. I'm so used to being around each and every one of you every day, and talking to this group and to groups that are like-minded like this, that I forget of the swath of people who are out there who still believe that like it's a devil's lettuce. And that's the thing that like completely went in one ear. Now, to me, it's just so natural and so normal that it's not even like a thing, that it's a big deal. And so when I bump into these people where it is a big deal and they're still kind of sketched out about it and they're like really nervous about it and they don't know how to talk about it, I get frustrated. And that's just a me thing. It's not a them thing. So that's what today is about, right? It's about today as you go out into the world and you deal with people, whether it be contractors or people that you interact with in retail or whatever it is that you are interacting with people out in this world today, right? However it is. Good morning. I want you to think about in those situations where things are kind of going haywire and those interactions where maybe they kind of go off the rails. I want you to stop and I want you to evaluate your role in that. Now, I'm going to honestly, and I have honestly today, with my role with that conversation, I was starting to get very combative and like very like dismissive, and that's how I do it, right? If I'm going to let you know right now, if you're somebody who does business with me, and I start saying, well, um, yeah, leaving that flock in the hip. Yes, because that's what happens is that that fucketh aroundeth and findeth outeth starts getting activated when I feel like people are asking me stupid questions or that they are insinuating that like I'm in some way like shisty. And that's kind of the tonality, and that's probably my projection, right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to unlock the door real quick. Unlock the door real quick. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm back. I'm back. So, my shirt. I promise y'all, it's out of the dryer. It's just got stained in butter from all the things. But whenever you feel like somebody is kind of, and it's a projection, because when I was hearing that, I was thinking in my brain that they're judging my business, they're doing this, they're doing that. I took that. I assumed all of those things. We talk about the four agreements, right? Do not make assumptions. Be impeccable with your word, always do your best, and take nothing personally. I did all of those things. And that's why I'm talking about this today, because I do come and I spread this message. But there are times when we have, I figured it out a little quicker. I did not live in that place. I did not spend all day in that shitty place. But what I did was I did all of those things immediately. But I was able to pattern interrupt, stop that. I'm like, wait a second, where is this going? Why am I doing this? This is not feeling right. This is out of alignment for my character. I'm getting shitty. I'm getting defensive. I'm angry about this. There's no reason to be. I can either choose to do business with this person or not. He is asking the questions he has every right to ask as an agent for this business. Every right to do those things. Every right to do those things. If I would have been opening up, he said, if you had never opened up a Dollar General before, I'd have to ask these questions. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. I was like, you're right. Let me just calm down. So what I want y'all to see that, right, is that when I talk about those things, you tell me, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that, or this doesn't work for me, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not like you. You are. We all get up in the morning. We all put our clothes on that, one pant, let's say you put your pants on one leg at a time. Some of us jump right into no clothes, right? But you know what I'm saying. We are all human. We are all have, I gotta sneeze again. It's just welling up. We're all human. So I come to tell y'all this today because even someone who practices this day in and day out, who stops and tries to do my mindful practices, who remembers to take the deep breaths, who sits in silent meditation for a moment. Come on, let's sit, buddy. I 1,000,000,000,000,000,000% still struggle when I am triggered. We are all triggered, but here's the difference, right? As you go down this path, as you do this work to take the deep breaths, to keep the anxiety at bay, I did not let this eat up my entire day. This conversation happened. The phone rang. I'm going to tell you how long ago, how quickly I'm over it, okay? Let's look at it and see. Let's see. Recent calls at 9:02 a.m. I spoke to them for 10 minutes. So we talked for 10 minutes this morning and it is 9:57 and I'm already like realigned my energy and I'm back in my center, right? Now normally that type of thing I would have called 5 other insurance agents. I would have called like, hey, due to some things I can't go live right now because I'm dealing with some stuff, right? We have one person who's going to have to come to the next retreat, not this one. She has a birthday situation that she messed up on with planning. So we have 2 spots left right now. 2 spots left. So we do have those spots left for the retreat. We are hoping that those get filled this week, hopefully next week. We have so much good stuff on track for that. It is definitely one of those things you do not want to miss. If you can be there, you want to be there. And um, along with that, I know a lot of you have been working with me, and that sound in the back reminds me of Anaconda. You should be looking over your shoulder every time you hear it. That's funny. That is my fan. And it goes every time it blows by. I'm like, ugh. But I have to keep it on. If not, I get super like the air doesn't move around in here. So I'll have to grease up my fan so it doesn't have the Anaconda sound. But I have been working with a lot of y'all individually. When you come by to pick up your sweet treats, or whenever you were trying to get your orders done, we are making plans for your anxiety. We're making plans for your depression. We're making plans for your sleep. We're making plans for your pain management. And a lot of you were saying, hey, I really want to find my center. I really want to stop the stinking thinking. I really want to control my anxiety. And like you say, cannabis is not the way that's going to stop any of those things. That is not how it's not, you hit the bowl, it's not you eat a brownie and all of a sudden, magically, all of the things that are going on in your life just magically get better, right? That is not what cannabis does. I always say that, right? What it does is it allows you a moment for the life not to seem so big, for the problems not to seem so overwhelming that you can't take steps to repair them. Whenever you're fighting with your partner or your spouse and you feel like the whole world's against you and it's never going to be better, right? You can go out, calm yourself, maybe hit your vape pen or do whatever, right? And it allows you to slow down that thinking and say, hey, we've had these arguments before. This too shall pass. It's over something as silly as who ate the last donut. It's not the end of the world. And it allows you to reclaim your wusa. It allows you to reclaim your calm. And for sleeping, so Nikki said, I can't sleep lately. It's really affecting me. Sleep is the biggest, to me, that's the biggest gift that I can give you. I can give you the gift of sleep because not only does cannabis help to slow things down and help you to kind of get some clarity, but it also is definitely good for sleep. And sleep, whenever you're like exhausted and you're tired and you're not getting good sleep, it affects your body, it affects your brain, it affects all of that stuff. So getting a good night's sleep is also going to be one of those things that helps you find your center and kind of recapture like, hey, I'm overthinking this, I'm overly tired, and things seem bigger because I'm sleepy. Every storm runs out of rain. That is 100% true, Nikki. But I'm going to tell you what I do. I am offering starting next month in September. We've got 4 people who have filled out the form. I'm hoping a couple more of y'all will do that. I need it to be about 10 people for it to be worth my while. To do it in one fell swoop. It's going to be the Happy Hippie Club. We're going to do a weekly Zoom. We're going to start with just learning how to do breath work, how to ground and center, right? We're just going to start small energy management techniques. I ate the pineapple upside down cake at 7 p.m. and still didn't sleep till 2 a.m. Nikki, I'm going to say this with all love and respect. Anything that you're using for sleep, if you go into it with like, I'm not going to sleep tonight, hopefully this works. I need you to like go into it with like deep breaths and say the intentionality is that when I eat this piece of cake, it is going to give me sleep. And you're going to say when and how you want to sleep. I want to go to sleep by 10 a.m. I want to sleep the night through. You're going to set that intentionality. Then you're going to start making moves to do that. Cut the phone off, cut the TV off. You need to have dark. You need to have no caffeine. All of those things that they tell you how you get to sleep, that's also how you get to sleep. And if you really want that sleep, then you're going to have to do those things. If your head's going crazy, then write it all down on a piece of paper. Get it out of your head so that it doesn't drive you crazy when you're trying to sleep. We're going to get you some rest, I promise. A routine. Yes, a pattern and a routine. So we're going to talk about deep breath work and finding your center and trying to slow down your brain. We're going to talk about ways to journal. We're going to have a journaling situation going on. We're going to talk about how to your chakras, what they are, where they are, how to get them kind of lined up. We are going to talk about a lot of other little fun things about intentionality, about affirmations, and about how to. We're going to have some reading. We're going to do some reading stuff together. But it's about building a community of people who can lean on each other and can be there for one another and use the things that work for, like something that Nikki's doing might be an epiphany for Melanie, and something Heather's doing might be an epiphany for me, and something I'm doing might be an epiphany for Kim. You just never know. So as we move forward, dark, cold mindset edible vape. Dark, cold mindset edible vape. I don't know what that means, but I hope that you're not a dark or cold. I hope you're not dark or cold. Oh, that's how she sleeps. Okay. Dark, cold, her good mindset, and her edible or vape. Gotcha. We will do some guided meditations. We will have some sleep meditations. We will have all of that stuff going on. Um, so make sure you get signed up, you share it. It's not just for women, it can be for anybody that wants to do it. Yeah, I got that. I figured it out now. But on that note, it is 10 o'clock. I know I got started a little late, but we have got to get the day started. We've got lots and lots of things on tap today. What I want you to remember is this, right? If something is frustrating you today, if something is pissing you off this weekend, if something is just not going your way, if you feel that you are being triggered and taken out of your own alignment of your own energy, I want you to stop for a moment. I want you to pattern interrupt, and I want you to go for the next best feeling thought. That's why I did this wrong. Like, you know what? I'm not going to stay here and live in this place. I'm going to go with the mindset of all is well, all is in divine time. The exact perfect partnership for me and my insurance will fall into place. I'm probably going to have to explain to any insurance company what it is I have to do. This is just a blessing, but I'm going to be able to do it today. Um, I'm excited to get to go live. So let me go ahead and release this anxiety that I'm holding on to. It is not serving me. Sitting here and worrying about this is not going to change the outcome of it. That's how I've gone about today. I'm actually able to write in the journal, which never happened when I was in therapy. I love that. I love that you are able to write in your journal. And again, it's just free writing. Whatever is in your brain, put it on paper, right? And if you don't know what to do, start drawing little pictures and then you just allow yourself to write. I do to-do lists is how I start. I start getting stuff out of my head and then I go from there. But on that note, we are going to get off here today and get the day going. I will be back on Sunday morning for Sunday Sermon Live at 10 a.m. I'm hoping you will all fill out the Happy Hippie Club form. More information will come to follow on that. We have lots of big things planned, and I'm going to have some resources for you moving out of that to get that work continuing forward. Also, we're going to be doing retreats from that. So you're going to get discounts on retreats from the Happy Hippie Club. We're going to do local retreats. It's going to be super fun, day retreats, things like that. You'll also get discounts on Reiki healing when I get the studio and things like that open. So lots of fun stuff happening in the future. But I'm ready to help each and every one of you. And this is a great group environment. I feel like there's strength in numbers and we'll go from there. So go out this weekend, keep your energy aligned. Understand that if you do have a moment where you kind of feel out of whack, give yourself some grace. We all have those moments. Just take a deep breath, reset your energy just like I did. And I showed you how you did it, right? Talk through it, have your moment. You just can't unpack and live there. We all have moments when it shit sucks. We just have to take that exit, get on that rest stop for a second, go let go of it, like go take a pee, get back in the car and pull back out of that and leave it where it's at. So on that note, peace, love, and feast. And as always, stay elevated. I love y'all and I'll see you soon.